on to our first topic then of the day.
Yeah.
Which is good news.
Yes. Let's try and change the mood.
Absolutely.
and try
Darren
and lift
Campbell, you've been in Paris. And that's so cool. It's really cool.
It is. It is cool.
There's not many people
I
who
only
get
didn't swim in that Seine, mind. The green Seine. I was expecting, if you did, you would be like the Hulk today.
Nowhere near it.
How was the experience, and how was Paris? How was France? How was the Olympics? As a spectacle, as a sports person, as a fan,
coach,
as a coach,
as a former Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
You know what? It was crazy. It was a crazy couple of weeks. It was a really good holding camp. All the British athletes, they just, they gave everything to the cause, and I think for me, that's the most rewarding thing. That's trusting in the coaches that work alongside me, Martin Rooney, Laura Turner, Elaine. Magnificent people, but the athletes just gave their all, and the whole experience. It was like it was like I'd gone back in time at certain points through it all, and I was having to remember certain aspects of the journey myself, and it's like, I feel very fortunate. I guess that's the best way to put it. I've done the Olympics 3 times as an athlete. I did it 3 times with the BBC, and now I've done it 2 times as a coach. Like, that's 8 times I've done that.
That's mad.
Yeah.
That is absolutely mad.
It's 8 times.
What would you say what's the difference between an athlete, a pundit, and a coach? Which is easiest?
I think over time the easiest was doing the punditry. Because that's just painting pictures with words, finding the right words.
You don't have to go to Merthyr Mile for that.
No, I'd have to train. Don't get me wrong. I had to work and I had to train and to get better, but I didn't have to physically train. I think the media side was more mental.
It's research, isn't it?
It's research. It's staying on top of things. You don't want to miss anything. Do you get what I mean? Because you've got one shot, it's live, and you've got the listeners. So you just want to try to give out as much information as possible. So that's mentally. But saying that, the athlete bit is physical and mental.
If you had the almanac, you'd be okay. Coming soon.
And then as a coach, it's a lot of empathy in people's journeys. I've been around the athletes now 3.5 years. So you know me, I can read people pretty quick. It's one of my skills. So
to be fair, you've done everything pretty quick, Darren. So
that's pretty good.
Thank you. You did well there.
Cheers.
You did well Sunday morning. So you feel a part of their journey. You feel a part of their struggles. You feel a part of their injuries. You feel a part of their comeback. You feel part of their redemption. You feel part of them realizing their dreams. And obviously, I know what those emotions feel like. So for me, it's a mad one, but my mood's not changed through the whole of it, and I think that was important.
Don't get too high on the highs, too low on the lows.
There you go.
It's middle
There you
ground.
go. It's middle. I walked middle ground, and I don't think in my life I've ever walked middle ground. I'm either.
But that's the competitor in you.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
When you're a competitor, you
But I have
need
to.
the high.
So I had to respect that I'm not in. I'm only in control so far. Do you get what I mean? And ultimately, the athletes have to go into that arena and do it. And that's what I'm proud about the most.
But you've been there, done it, so you've got that experience to hand over to athletes. And would you say you had to delve into your sort of your past history as an athlete much to pass over to some of these young athletes who were
100, Nathan? I think that was the big difference between Tokyo then and Paris for me. You know the struggles of the last 6 years. So, you know, one of the problems after the illness was memory. I focus a lot. You know the struggles.
Yeah, I do, absolutely.
Yeah, you know the struggles. So, being in Paris was the first time that I, with so many people, just recall at certain points their journey, where I felt they were on that journey, and how I could just find some words of empowerment, because the work's done. That's the reality. In a cold night a day, what's your
fit on the track?
once
we get there,
you're right. Once you're at the Olympics, well, listen,
if you wouldn't be there if you had done the work.
Well, this is what I say, you know, because everything's reflective. So when you think about it, and this'll sum it up. All right, probably everybody that won a medal for Great Britain dreamt about this at a certain point.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say they were between the age of 11 and 16. Okay, so they've been inspired by a moment at the Olympic Games and decided they want a moment like that at the Olympic Games. Okay, so straight away think about all the million people that had that dream at that same time. Okay, and eventually you whittle it down to the final 8 that have all got the same dream. They all want to stand on the podium at the Olympic Games. There's nothing between them. They've all come different routes to get there because they've all not got the same coach. Do you get what I mean? So everybody's come from different paths, and you whittled it down to the final 8 in the world who've all had the same dream. At that point, a dream ain't enough, because all these 8 people.
Reality now kicks in. It's now reality, right?
Yeah, so you can turn around and go, well, it's my destiny because I had a dream as a kid.
Yeah, but it's his destiny and his destiny, or her destiny and her destiny and her destiny, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
So
only 3 medals.
at that point, that's where your demons come in. Yeah, that's where the nerves come in. That's where what you've been through to get there comes in. Whether you think you're worthy, whether you can just control those nerves. You know, the doubts come in. The blocks become heavy. You've gone through
one of lactic acid standing in your blocks. I ain't ready yet. My legs feel heavy.
Right, my legs feel heavy. So, look, yes, I've been able to go into the memory banks. Why? Because I can remember the feelings. That's what helps me.
I always find it fascinating, especially with people who have been there and done it. I find it fascinating, some of the questions then asked. Like, it's almost like blasé in the questioning, like, oh, why do you think it didn't happen today for you? Like, if the person has finished 7th and they were expected to finish top 3.
I just told you now why, because it's like...
Yeah, and I'm like, but you know, I understand it from a person who's never been an athlete, right? But I never understood it from someone who's actually been there. Like I always say, like, you watch Match of the Day or you watch Sky or TNT, and punditry is like, we can solve every problem. And I'm like, but people, you've been there. You know, we've all conceded an own goal. We've all, like, missed an open goal. We've all passed the ball 5 yards out the touch. Like, what is he doing? Like, so terrible. Or what was she thinking there? Why didn't he think this out? Yeah, we've all been there and had that moment, right? No matter how good you are. You know what I mean? I've seen some of the best players in the world miss from 2 yards. Do you know what I mean? So it's
too simplistic. The question's always too simplistic.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and especially once you've just competed,
you're not thinking right.
You're not thinking right, and emotions are so high or they're so low.
You're wired, or you're You've just been crushed.
Yeah, you've been crushed. You've been crushed. So look, the performances were inspirational, and you know. Again, just to, like I said, I tried to keep myself like that the whole time.
Can I say my?
Let me just say this though: I never went into the stadium. I went in.
Wow,
there was a practice. There was a practice day before it all started, where the start was practicing blocks, and everybody gets to just go inside. So I went in that day. because there were a number of athletes who were looking to just practice the start with the official starter. But after that, I never went in. I could hear it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know you said you kept it cool?
Yeah.
If you had gone in the stadium, would that have been a different?
Yeah. Because you connect with it.
Yeah.
You connect with it.
Darren, what are you doing?
Well,
You're coach. You're no longer running.
Well, the
that
thing
lactic
is,
acid would have been kicking in for you. Well, not just got in the stadium.
Our boss is fantastic. That the head coach is a lady called Paula Dunn, and like she does a fantastic job. And the motto that she puts on the WhatsApp group for all the coaches, all the staff each day is, remember that it's somebody's day one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I can't. Somebody's
Paula Dunn, why does that name ring a bell?
Because she's a legend.
Yeah.
She was a legend sprinter back in the day. Manchester.
Yeah. I remember Paula Dunn. She was wicked.
MBE.
Yeah.
So she's the head coach, and listen, she only came in place in November. So
to achieve what you've done then has been superb.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, her thing is it's day one for someone, and our energy has to be the same for everyone. And I just felt if I went in, the noise was okay. What I could tell you, is whether you're a fan, you're a pundit, or you're an athlete,
you're excited by
the energy that is
generated
in that stadium, you cannot not feel it. It's not possible. Like you see the people coming out the stadium and their minds have been blown. Do you get what I mean? That we all want to see something amazing, and the level of performance from every athlete from around the world, and that's what makes what the Brits did amazing.
Yeah. It's gladiatorial, isn't it?
It is.
Because I remember going into we played the playoff final in 2003 against Sheffield United for Wolves, and
I was there.
Yeah, and
I was a Wolves fan for the day just because Beverly Knight was there. Yeah. So I remember, and not just because my best friends playing, but it's like. It's a final.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a one-off.
Anything about a final, there's been a journey to get there.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And now everything rides on, in your case, the next 90 minutes or extra time.
Yeah.
For a sprinter, this is what I mean about the level of pressure.
Yeah.
For a sprinter, male, female,
the
next
minutes.
11 seconds, the next 10 seconds is going to define that
the
whole
last
journey.
4, 5, 6, 10, 11 years. Yeah.
The level
pressure
of pressure, and then to bring it down to focus,
block everything.
To block
everything.
So
I remember being on the coach, right, and the lad saying, we were driving in, and the way you come in, the Angel Hotel. So when you come in off the motorway, you come down Cathedral Road and by the Angel Hotel. And I remember seeing Sheffield United fans everywhere. So, and that's one of my old clubs, right? But the lads were on the coach and saying, wait, Blake's where's all the Wolves fans then? And I was like, oh, don't worry. I said, knowing when you turn right at the Angel and you're going down towards the back of the Arms Park.
The Bay Strip.
Right, so it was red and white. And I was saying, don't worry, Wolves fans will be here. Thinking they're probably on that strip. And then we turned right, and I remember the lads just going, F it now, what the? And there was just a sea of gold. It was one of the best visions. It sticks in my head. Right, and I've had great moments at other clubs, but that was one of the best moments of my life. We hadn't even got to the stadium, but it was just turning right and seeing that sea, because usually I turn right there and I see a sea of red for Wales. But that sea of gold, it was incredible. And then like the lads, you then start to get the tingles, right? But that's
because now it's real.
that's when you've got to start embracing the feelings, right? But controlling them, because it can freak you out.
It can freak you out.
And we were, I think, walking out onto the Millennium in front of like 85, 90,000. It's gladiatorial. That's what I say. It's gladiatorial. It's us v them. You're in the Coliseum, right? All fans cheering for both teams. And
listen, it's like
there's
that.
going to be a winner and a loser.
It's like that. Okay, so the good thing is you guys are separated by changing room. Yeah? So...
Yeah, you guys ain't here.
On the warm-up track, right?
Room.
So you're on the warm-up track, and then there's 10.
Other.
So you've like got your spot in each 10, and the Americans down the other end in the 10, and blah, blah. So it's like, and then you got to share lanes, and then you got to share the track.
For warm-up and all.
Yeah, for warm-up. Everybody's warming up, stretching.
Yeah.
So you can imagine all the people on the track. So all of a sudden, the fight happens before we even get onto the main stadium in the track, because you're fighting for lanes. Do you get what I mean? You fight to make sure nobody walks across the lane. Yeah, so it becomes a big team effort, because you're having to call physios out as well, just to try and keep lanes clear. Like I said, the levels, like for team, it's the best team I've been around, apart from when I was with Malky Mackay, Cardiff City. Well, it was up there, the levels. But yeah, that like, and maybe that's where I learned a lot of stuff with Malky about how you get people to come on a mission with you.
Yeah.
Because I'll never forget it. Like when that season.
So we got you to blame for why Cardiff so defensively playing so defensively.
Well,
because that's where I think it started. Cardiff fans were on Cardiff City podcast.
You know, sometimes, listen, sometimes you need to work a certain way to get to where you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
Now, the mission was to get to the Premier League, and that's, you know me, Nath, I like a mission.
Yeah.
So I remember going in, I'd helped Rudy Gestede get over some injuries and that, and then they were like, oh, do you want to come in the whole season? Because Bellamy was coming back and keep them sharp, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. So I remember the first day, they were training, and I was stood next to him, and I said, okay, so what's the remit for the year? And I don't even know if I should be saying this, but he went, right, we need to get promoted. Yeah, he goes, I don't even know if I'll be here that long, but if we don't get promoted, he goes, I'm definitely not here. He goes, chairman's not having me. He goes, the chairman's not having me. That's what he said to me.
Chairman's not having me.
He goes, chairman's not having me. He goes, so he goes, that's it. He goes, that's the mission. I went, cool, I'm in. Because I like that.
Yeah.
If there's something,
I remember that season. I was in the Canton stand for that season.
How old are you, Dav?
I would have been 15.
Wow.
In the, I think,
well,
I would have been 15 years old in the Canton stand with my cousin on
Little
that
Soul
season.
Crew.
Yeah.
At the front.
Yeah, that's me, Soul Crew.
Well, mate, that was, to be a part of that experience, the Olympic one surpassed it. Yeah, it surpassed it. It did, because...
Well, it's wider, isn't it? You got the whole world at this venue.
Yeah.
That's I think why the Olympics is so big. It's because it's worldly.
Yeah.
Trust me. It's like going to the World Cup in Qatar.
Yeah.
Like seeing other fans from different... sometimes we would just have pictures with people on the underground, like on the tube. Like I'd see someone and think, oh, they look well happy. Can we have a picture? I was a proper wrong, and like they must be thinking, yeah, no problem. But it's that there's, people always say, oh, I wish the world was like this all the time.
Yeah.
That's the feeling that came from being at a World Cup or European Championships.
Yeah.
It's just it's a time of celebration.
It's everything you said. It's gladiatorial, but it's done in the right way.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? There'll be winners, there'll be losers, but everybody is appreciated.
And you know there's madness going on around the world still, but you're almost like you can have this moment of, I don't know.
It's the best kind of release,
I see it as hope. I see it as hope that the world's still a good place. There's still people that will give everything for a cause.
Yeah.
And just having a purpose each day. These guys, their purpose.
What was your moment of the games? Not of athletics, because I don't want to single anyone out. My moment was Alex Yee. He was like the favourite, but when they got on the run, I think it was an Aussie who had just gone, right? And literally 15 seconds, 17 seconds, and the commentators were like, "Oh, well, you know, Alex, there must be something wrong," or, you know, we're making excuses for him really because he's not winning and he's favourite. Then it clips the different, like, the 1 minute you're following this group, next minute you're following like who the leaders are, right? Who's coming to try and challenge for a medal. So it's flipping around. So the leader's out 15 seconds ahead and Alex is in second place, and they're kind of saying, well, silver medal is good, he'll be disappointed, blah, 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 blah. And they're watching like a group who's challenging for third place. And there's like about 4 runners. And it's coming to like the last minute. And then it flips back and Alex Yee is just taking over the person who's in first place with less than it's got about 300 meters to go. I was in the kitchen screaming, jumping. It was amazing. It was like to see someone who you thought
was God.
Yeah. And I remember someone saying to me once, when you listen to commentators, like, it was a boxing match. They said, don't listen to commentators when you're watching boxing because they tend to favour someone, and then, you know, you must have watched a fight and you think, oh, well, Dav's doing Darren. But they're going, oh, Darren, a great shot there. And then David's Darren with 3 punches and they don't say nothing. And so I was like really down, and then like I thought, because I watched every moment of it, I could, when it flipped back and I seen him like take over the lad, I was just like, that is like an amazing thing to do.
Is that perfect calculation, or is it just someone absolutely busting everything they've got in their body to beat someone?
Listen, it's the, you know what it is? It's the will, one, not to give up. Yeah, because again, this dream's a serious dream.
Yeah.
It's been a part of your life for 15, 20, 25, whatever it is when you dreamt it. That's been a part of. And, you know, for him, stand on the top of the podium is the best in the world. So that heaps pressure on itself.
That's
do you
extra
get what I
pressure,
mean?
yeah.
So, you know, just because you're the best and you're number one doesn't mean that.
Well, on any given day, you might have a niggle, you might feel
well,
a bit
but
nervous.
nerves. Everybody the reality is everybody gets nervous.
Yeah.
You just try and control how those nerves affect you. Do you get what I mean? That's why people will go, oh, there's good nerves, because good nerves are anticipation for what's ahead. Do you get what I mean? But it can flip the other way where it just seems too much. And I get it. Listen, it's a lot. It doesn't matter how anybody tries to explain it to you. Standing in the final at the Olympic Games, the crowd, no matter how anybody tries to explain it to you, when you stand there, there's so much that can go through your mind and then can affect your body that, it's not till you're there that you know.
Because I was going to ask you as well. So, coming from a school in Cardiff called Llanishen, we've always been the second school to a school called Whitchurch. Whitchurch have bred all these Gareth Bale, Sam Warburton, Geraint Thomas, like all these brilliant athletes, and then my school's just kind of been there like,
let it go, man.
I know. However, Llanishen High School won 4 medals in this Olympics this year.
How do you feel about that?
A class. I'm like, where's the Whitchurch in this? I'm like,
where's the Whitchurch? He's still challenging it.
I'm like, I remember getting absolutely smacked by them in rugby, and now I'm like, now we're even. But some obviously amazing, and so really happy for one of the guys, Jeremiah Azu, to get his medal. He obviously, in one of his races, false started. I just wanted to know from that, because what people don't necessarily think about is you may be on that blocks, but so much is going on around you. Like you're not the only people doing it. There could be someone pole vaulting to the side of you. There could be someone jumping into sand which goes everywhere. There could be all these sorts going on. What are your senses like when you're on that block, ready to run 100 meters? Which, out of all the athletic events, the 100 meters is just the special one. What is it like when you're on that block, and what do your senses and what do you feel like? It must feel forever. Like, what is it like?
Listen, it's petrifying, but I think at that level, again, someone like Jeremiah, mindset wise, there's no issues there, and I think the lesson he'll learn, although it was a horrible lesson, will make him stronger, and it did make him stronger. I think that's the key. His biggest challenge, and I have to take my hat off to him because he did it. Do you get what I mean? But his biggest challenge was, how do you come from rock bottom, okay? Because like I said, he's been dreaming about competing at the Olympics. He's at the Olympics. He's got his lane, in the first round of the 100 meters. Pretty much just needs to, just needs to get a decent start. And do you get what I mean? He'll qualify. Yeah. So that's probably how his mindset would be. Yeah, not overconfident, but you know what the task is, and that's what you need to do. But there is in the heat a bit of room for error then, because he's faster than most of the people. So you go from that so quietly confident to you need to leave the track. Okay, you've broken a rule.
Yeah,
and you need to leave the track, and everything that you've been aiming for.
I genuinely can't imagine it.
Crashed.
It's just crashed.
I can't imagine it.
This is how, I don't, for anybody listening, just think about, I don't even know. You've got this thing and it's so valuable and you can't drop it. Yeah. And your whole being, like you said, athletes giving the whole being, everything there,
it's like being red carded in the semi-final.
Yeah, that's what
of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Everything you've ever worked for, and your teammates are going to be... But
in the first second...
Yeah.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
No one's going to get red carded in the first second because the ball will get kicked and you can't get to a player quick enough to foul him and get sent off.
Oh, I can.
You'd find a way. Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's like... It didn't get to perform.
Gaza.
Okay? So then let me throw Gaza, but let me throw something else. Okay? Yeah? He's got to heal.
In a short space of time.
Why? Because he's due to run the relay. Okay? And what leg is he running? First leg,
first on. Yeah.
Okay, so what's he got to come out of? The blocks.
The blocks, yeah.
And where did it go wrong the last time? In the blocks. So you got to block out what happened to you 5, 6, however days, not weeks, months, years.
Which you spent the last 5 days thinking about.
Because it's impossible not to.
Yeah.
Okay, so testament to Jeremiah Azu, testament to his family. I'm not going to delve into
the people around him.
I'm not going to delve into how he dealt with that because that's his story.
Yeah,
but it's testament to a lot of people because
probably being Welsh helps as well.
Look, what is it? It's God's country.
Yeah,
so look, his dad's a preacher.
Yeah.
So listen, his faith will have helped him. That I will say. Yeah, because you have to have strong belief to, get red carded and then
come back and do what he done.
And then do what he done.
Because it sounds
easy.
Not easy.
It sounds,
but for people who are not really like they watch it, but they've never competed. Then
yeah, I'm trying to find an analogy.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find an analogy.
Well, that's what I said, Gaza, right?
All right, yeah, right. You dream job. Yeah, you dream job from a kid.
Yeah.
Okay, you get that dream job. Yeah, you get it. You've gone through the interview, gone through the processes. You've worked hard to level up to get to that position, and you go in on the first day and they turn around to you and go, you're sacked.
Yeah.
HR.
Well, so you're most ready to do it as well.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Or you get there and they go, oh, the company closed last night.
yeah. The company, we know, but
Although that wouldn't be your fault, I suppose. Your dream job.
there you go.
And then
That's not your fault.
And they
So
say
you can't-
no matter what, you can't turn up late, and you turn up late, and they go right, done.
I just think,
But the traffic in
yeah.
London was done.
Done.
Should have slept here overnight.
I just think the full start. It's brutal,
Yeah.
especially
But
because you must be on such a heightened.
Credit to him.
and then going to do that.
Credit to him to come back the way he did. That was like, listen, all I can say is for a small guy, he's got a huge heart and a huge personality. That's strength in depth, that is.
And that's one story.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. Every single athlete, whether Olympian or whether a medalist, will have a story.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? I say to people all the time, you don't win an Olympic medal by accident. There's no luck involved. You've created your own luck. And then come of that time, you've been able just to center yourself.
It reminds me of a story when someone rang me from the Olympics disappointed in their 100 meters. And I had to slap them about a bit and say, you're top 6 in the world, like. And then they went and won an Olympic silver 200, which should be gold. But it will go down there.
It is what it is.
We'll save that for a different podcast.
But again, it goes back to what we were just saying. It's your support network.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
You when you're at the Olympic Games, you can't have any negativity around you.
Yeah.
You can't have negative people around you. You have to block. You have to block out the world. Do you understand? And center yourself and be in that moment. That moment that you've dreamt about. You're now there.
And I think people can understand it to a degree, but I don't think unless you've been in a pressurized situation of like huge magnitude.
Oh, I've been sitting here for half an hour and I still don't have a clue.
Nave.
No,
Like after
I still don't understand it now.
well, after 8 Olympics, I understand it a little bit better. Right.
But it can change from Olympics to Olympics, no doubt.
But this is okay. So sorry, because the moments come back into my mind. So you said the highlight of the Olympics for me. Okay, obviously it was the athletes achieving their dreams. So that, but my personal, because that's my job. But my personal was having. We started calling it like morning chats with the legend Don Quarry, Jamaican sprinter, legend, and every morning we'd have like an hour before it all started and the warm-ups and all that, and just to get insight into the Olympics from his perspective, how far it's come, how far the sport's come, the energy that he still gives. It's like he's 50. It's unbelievable. And I kind of left there, got a couple photos with myself and Don, because just for him to give me that time, he made me feel special then. To be able to, because as I say, we joked.
Well, you are special.
Listen, we joked, and I said, so I'll see you again tomorrow morning, same place. And again, we watched heats and different stuff. And so my highlight was getting to just spend
time with someone who's an elder.
A legend.
Legend. Even though you've got all that experience, there's always some more you can take.
There's
right?
more.
Yeah.
This is the point. Yeah. There's levels to everything.
And seeing
in
the
life.
game through a different perspective, because everyone's eyes are different, right?
Everybody's eyes are different.
So if you can borrow off him some of what he's
learn, and
it's
look, ultimately it's the knowledge and wisdom that we all end up
because
seeking.
no doubt Don will have someone that he used to, might still have someone who he has the same sort of feel.
We're just happy. Do you get what I mean? And I can see why, because he's seen the Olympics from every single perspective. And he would pretty much tell me what's going to happen. I got a couple right, but he's like, he would tell me certain things, and the next day that's what would happen. It was like, he's seen so much.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. To spend quality time with somebody that's seen so much, they can almost predict what's going to happen.
Like the women's 100.
The women's 100, the men's 100, you know, there's always going to be little things that you see. Look, always my fear for the Jamaican athlete is the first one's hardest to win. Do you get what I mean? And it's the Olympic Games. And he's kind of become slight favourite.
Is that Thompson? The big guy?
Sean,
Yeah.
So, you know,
Well,
again, again, it goes back to what we're saying. You don't know how you're going to feel till you stand there.
And then
And then
during
in the race of 10 seconds.
Yeah, because the American boy, the chunky one, not Lyles, the other one, I noticed that when I was watching the race, the 100-meter final, you know when you say about until you get there and then warm up but then there's a different part when the race starts and it's only 10 seconds, 9.5 seconds, all right? And you think, well, what can you do in 9.5 seconds? I watched, I think it was Fred Curley. He was on the inside of Thompson, and that became a race in itself because Thompson was expecting to pull away from him, and Curley didn't let him go. And I believe that's why Lyles comes through.
So you think he got into a race with Curley?
I think, not a race, I think it affected him mentally.
Well, if
he was blowing people away like that.
Yes, so it can, and this is what I mean. It can happen now. Okay,
so you push a bit
only
extra.
although it's only 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't mean that your mind switches off for that 10 seconds. What you hope is that it does, and that you just trust everything that you've done in the past. Yeah, trust the process, trust the training, just full belief in what you're doing. So then you don't get caught up in what's actually happening in the race, and it's like what I discussed with Mark Lewis Francis before we won the relay gold. I said, we're going to give you a lead. Now, the reason why I said that to him, obviously, I can't predict the future, but that's the only way we're going to win. Okay, so what I wanted him to have set in his mind is, you're going to be in the lead so that when you are, you're not going to be shocked because it's exactly where you were supposed to be. Yeah. So you can visualize that. Why? Because we've spoken about it. I've said to you, we're going to give you a lead because I want to believe it. And two, that's the only way we can win. We're not coming from behind
to beat the Americans.
Right. So then the other thing I told him is, Maurice Green don't rate you. He don't respect you. Okay? So he's not going to give up.
That's what I loved about that race. When Matt comes over the line, he's cussing the world out. Do you know what?
You know what? I've never thought about it until you just said, yeah.
Oh, you fuck.
Yeah. That's what.
I swear, even now, there's moments in sport, right? That
we'll have to get Mark on.
Oh, listen.
Get Mark on.
When he comes, that is one of my favourite moments in sport.
Yeah. Now that
regardless.
Is right. So
when he crosses the line, that face is like, what? You want to take us on? You think you're better than? Come on! I was like, oh, I love it, mate. Love it. Bring Mark on, man. Bring him on. Bring him on. Love it.
So yeah,
that's like my ginger shot for the morning. Wow.
Listen, it's everything you say there. I've never thought about it, but that could have been that because I've had that where 1998 then. Dwayne Chambers has run faster than my PB in the semi-final. We've got the final to come, and I just in my mind I was like, no one can't beat me. No one can't beat me. I could beat myself.
Yeah.
But like, no one can't beat me. Like the work that I've put into this, the extra work that I put into this, the extra training I did, just like when you start thinking about
testament of that.
Right. So when you start thinking about all the work that you did, that's what did. I went, no one ain't beating me. So you can see as I crossed the line, I when I crossed the line, I'm like, because I'm like, it's everything you say there. It's like you said, it's gladiators, so it's fighting without fighting.
But that moment where Mark comes over the line is, for me, is like one of the best moments in sport. Because knowing you as well, and knowing like you say, the work you put in, and I'm thinking, okay, so they're probably all putting this kind of level of work in. That's why they're the quartet, right? But you're coming up against the Americans, right? And the Americans, they're always brash, they're always big-headed, we know all that. They think the world can't challenge them. So that moment where Mark, mate, honestly, it was fantastic.
Yeah, look, it's and there was probably a lot of relief from Mark in that moment because we'd been slagged off, we were given no chance, and look.
Why did they slag you off?
Darren had a problem with his hamstring.
Yeah.
And I'll say it. Michael Johnson had said things which I don't really understand, because there was a runner injured at this Olympics, and he was saying, possibly he's got this problem and it could be, and then the person run. But he's almost saying that Darren...
he said it was faking injury.
Okay.
Basically. Yeah. Basically,
Yeah.
right? But then...
How do you defend that?
You know
with
what?
otherwise going,
Right.
I'm not.
That's right. I'm at the Olympic Games. I've just told you all the stresses and everything else that go on at the Olympic Games. And then somebody...
It's understandable to be a little bit on edge.
I'll take you back there. In my mind, I'm like, how do I defend that?
Yeah.
This is Michael Johnson. Everybody loves Michael Johnson.
Yeah.
They believe
But
everything.
he doesn't... Everything he says,
believe
but
everything
he's not
he
me,
says.
he's not my body, he's not... So, just shut up a minute, because there must have been... And this was this is the ironic thing. When I hear him talking about... I can't remember what... I think it was Noel Lyles. They said he had COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They said he had COVID, in his
and
race.
he run, and he didn't win the 200s.
Yep.
And then Michael started saying, I've had times in my career where I haven't been fully fit, or I've been injured, or... That's the life of sport people, really. Rarely are we 100% fit at any point, right? There's always a niggle somewhere, right? And I thought to myself, this Olympics, it transported me straight back to your moment. And I thought to myself, I was sitting watching him thinking, well, how can you be saying what you're saying about yourself and about Noel Lyles? And then you've said about my boy years back, he's faking it. You might have a tight muscle, an adductor, a hamstring, a knee problem, but we've all played through that. Look, we're footballers and we play for 90 minutes through it.
Nath, it's the Olympic Games.
Do you know what I mean?
The
And
next
it's the Olympic Games,
The next
which
one's the next 4 years, and I ain't trying to go.
Right. So it's all or nothing, right? So if I'm running down the back straight and my hamstring pops, it pops.
It pops.
Right? It might be.
But
It
that
might be
wasn't.
stressed.
So from an individual perspective, that was a risk I was willing to take
Well,
for
anybody would.
me.
Yeah.
Right.
So then for him to, I don't even want to transport myself back there, because I've forgiven him in the respect that, you know what, it's probably the extra fuel that got us, all of us, the gold medal.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
true.
But that's between him and God. Do you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you can't just go round.
Accusing people of feigning injury at an Olympic game.
There's levels to this and that.
Bro, you don't say that.
The line,
You don't say that.
the line that he crossed.
Yeah.
There's
I know,
a God.
I get you.
There's a God.
Yeah.
That's all I
Yeah,
can say.
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
God.
yeah.
There's a God, because, when you've come from where I've come from in my life, fake.
You just don't feign
bro, fake.
Yeah.
And it's-
if anything,
I could take you on some journeys. I'll show you fake.
Yeah, if anything, it goes the other way, because we're kind of our own worst enemy, that we will try and play through ridiculous sort of pains, right? Been there myself, where you're trying to keep playing, and I remember I was at Blackburn and I was still trying to play, and I was having my Achilles fluid drawn off it before the game.
Yeah.
Right, then playing, and then the fluid that had built up drawn off it after the game, and then they would wrap me up and put me, like, I wouldn't train there for 3 or 4 days. And I remember being accused prior to it of feigning injury by the then manager, Graham Souness. In fairness, he apologised and everything afterwards, and started the season, scored goals, blah, blah, blah. Then got about, I think it was at Craven Cottage at Fulham. It was on TV, and the physio Dave Fever, who, like, basically saved my sort of mental freaking state, just said to me half-time, like, I think we're done. And I was like, can you see me limping? He was like, Nate, you're running like, you ran like one leg short than the other. He said, like, so like
slowly running off to your left as well, because it's so heavy on your Achilles.
It's so blatant now, like, enough's enough. But we were going for promotion, and we were only the first third of the season. I was like, scoring goals, flying, we had a great team. And I was like, you want to do your bit, right? Because it hadn't been great previous at Blackburn. So, you go through anything, really. You go until it stops you.
Yeah. And look, that's the story of it's the story of my life.
Yeah. You go until it stops you.
It always has to go drastic.
Yeah.
But and I think that's why that people could press buttons on you, and like he pressed the button that could have ended so differently. And look, it goes back to everything we're saying. Jeremiah Razoo, nothing you do is on purpose in sport. Nobody at this level I know has ever gone, I tell you what would be funny, I'll just go out there and drop the baton. I tell you what would be funny, I'll just false start. It's like, no, we love sport.
I tell you what I'll do, I'll pretend I'm injured.
Yeah, I'll pretend. Like,
it's so ridiculous when you start to think about it.
I don't even know what the gain is if you're pretending. I'm Olympic.
That's almost a personal dislike.
Yeah, you don't like me.
Right.
Bro.
That's a
Let's
personal.
keep that real. Like, if that's all you've got on me.
Personal.
If that's all you got on me, to the point where, the British team doctors going on TV showing my scan, it got ridiculous. Do you understand? Because
having to justify it because someone from a different country is questioning one of our own, who's got about 20 medals in the bag, by the way, after all these Olympics and
it's not my first, bro. It's not my first Olympics.
It's not your first rodeo.
It's not my first medal. It's like fake.
Right.
Listen, well, you know me.
Yeah.
Okay, we probably should tell this story.
Yeah, let's move on from because it's a
no. This ain't about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We move on from here. I was going to tell the story about Iron Apple.
Yeah. But let's move on from Iron Apple.
I want to hear about this medal.
You ever hear of someone going on a party week for a week and then getting a silver medal after partying and dancing and drinking? Not the best preparation for Olympic Games. So maybe I would say probably better we probably leave that as well. 'Cause,